If that is not the perfect summation of the manosphere, if it were a bar, then I don't know what else is.
That was awesome. I love the OnlyFans girls just like looking over the house. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Sip and Stream Barflies and Nuts. This evening, it's not only myself sitting here by myself drinking, but I've got a companion too. So we're going to be drinking together, myself and the lovely Miss Torshaa. Why is it two A's?
Yeah, why is it? Because someone who took Torshaa, some
Ah,
other
man.
like Indian singer.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's okay.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess
You're
it
so
works out
professional.
better. It works out better because it kind of makes it like, oh, don't forget the two A's.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Fair enough. So, what are we drinking? Yes, excellent questions. First, let me come to the entire chat. Torshaa, I don't know if you notice, it also feeds both of them into one place, so you don't have to go back and forth. Isn't that nice? I love this. So, who is in the chat? We have Based Oracle, Doug the Thug Fist. You're not first on the list today, unfortunately. Now you're not my number two fan. Sean Weiland, David Donnelly, Primal Studies, Sandwiches Represent, Dr. Robert, Sarah Peters, Shane Nolan. Interesting topic. I like that name because it's an interesting topic. Get to the gone. Kevin Johnson, past. John Frederick. Welcome back, guys. Eric Mann. Let's see. Phil Brad, Michael Horsley, Don Juan, and Crackalack and Phil Brad. Oh my God, there's a lot of names on here tonight. Mark Morris, I know you saw me this morning. Glad to see you again.
A lot of people.
Something suave. I don't know. Neo Starling, of course. And I forgot to inform you backstage, Torshaa, if anything goes wrong, and for reasons I discussed with you earlier, Neo does have admin abilities here, so he can jump in and handle it going forward if I need to bolt for any reason. We
Oh,
should be
okay.
good, but it's always good to have a backup
I
plan.
can carry the team.
You've got this. I know you can. You guys could carry on all night for all I care. It's just a matter of making sure it gets shut down or people are getting let in from the backstage and things like that.
Yeah.
So, oh, and I have to mention, this is my number one fan. This is my mama, Tomato Paste. There may be the Grumpy Tomatoes showing up tonight. That is my dad. Huge fans of mine. I'm so proud of that they're here and able to watch me. So you don't have to watch your language, but you have to understand my parents are watching. So,
I understand. Hello, Mr. Tomato.
hello, Mr. and Mrs. Tomato.
Swear. Now I'm gonna be sweating just because your dad's here. Hi.
Well, he's not here yet. He did say that he had an early morning tomorrow and he might not be able to tune in. So, if that's the case, then we're okay because my mom doesn't care. My mom doesn't mind as much. She's seen me on the speed dates on Alex Playing with Fire, and she's like, fair game, whatever. But my dad, he can't watch those.
I just think on my dad being partially deaf, so I'm like, he just doesn't hear it. Like, it's fine.
That's the ignorance is bliss concept right
Yeah.
there on that one.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So Torshaa,
Yes.
you are you still bartending or you have bartended?
No, I haven't bartended in like the past 2 years or so. But I used
Oh,
sorry, my dogs are gonna be really annoying. I feel it.
that's
I'll let
okay.
them out in a second. But
I've watched your streams before where the dogs get, they get going.
I have 2 Dalmatians, so they're just like huge and
Yeah.
antsy all the time. But yeah, I bartended for like 11 years, something like that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you then actually. Not I don't think 11, but a lot of years. I don't
I
know.
started at 18, so it's
Oh, you
like
can
a
start at
little
18?
yeah, somehow it was legal. I don't know how, like, to be honest with you. I worked for, like, a corporate Twin Peaks, so kinda like Hooters,
Oh.
and I think because there was a manager on the floor, like, overlooking the bar, that it was technically legal to serve. I don't know.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense, kind of. I think it also varies state to state and the liquor license themselves. Like out here on the East Coast, most of them are 21 and up. You could be a cocktail
Yeah.
at 18 because you're just delivering, but you couldn't actually make.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's like that over here too. I know New York is like the spot for bartending more than it is Las Vegas.
yes,
Yeah, so
that's because they
5
actually have,
a.m.
oh my God, could you imagine doing that? Like,
I don't know.
actually, I don't know. Did you do like a 5 a.m. style
Oh yeah.
nightclub?
Oh yeah. I worked in Las Vegas, so I worked at the graveyard shifts too. So I'm a night owl. She's like,
Well,
no.
I mean, I'm not anymore. Well, I'm still a night owl, but I wouldn't be able to like bartend till 5. There was, I guess, bartended down in DC. Uh, it was
That's
like on and off within like a year's time frame. I had a couple different like hot spots down there, and they were the 5 o'clock ones. And so I would bartend at one place,
mhm.
during like a regular shift, be done at like 10, and then scoot over there and kick off at 11 o'clock at night there. And then you're home at like 6, 7 in the morning, and you're just completely dead to the world.
Yeah.
And then I'd have my daughter, and, she'd be waking up, and I'm like, no.
Oh no. That sounds like the longest night ever. I don't think I could do that.
And then it turns into the longest day on top of that. So it was
Yeah.
rough. It
It
was
doesn't
rough.
stop.
Hmm?
It wouldn't stop. You'd be working nonstop. Like, how do you get
Yeah.
stuff done? Errands
Well,
during the day and stuff. You can't go to the DMV at 2 in the morning.
true, but the great thing about bartending is you can get away with working like 3 or 4 nights,
Mhm.
and that's it,
Yeah.
and so you
They
have
like
either
you.
3 or 4 days oh, yeah.
If they
Well,
like you.
I'll say this, I never bartended anywhere where I had to bartend like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh,
I never
really?
had to do it. I never had to do it. I never had to earn my spot. It just happened.
Yeah.
So, but I'm good at speed bar, so that works out very well
Hell
for
yeah.
me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as long as you have see any bartending gig I got, it was they found me from another bar, and
Yeah.
they're like, "I'd
Oh,
like you to come
awesome.
bartend." Yeah, so but that's because they always happen to like be there, and I'd be running like the service bar or something, doing speed, and
Yeah.
they're like, I want you," because
Yeah.
bartender, you have to be fast.
It's rare that you find fast bartenders. Like, if we're keeping it real, like
Yeah. Oh my God, I think that was the most annoying thing. And tell me if your experience is different, but male bartenders, they can be fast. They
Mhm.
just choose not to.
I was actually trained by 2 men when I went to the city.
Mhm.
Not when I started, but when I went to the city, and they are the fastest bartenders I've ever seen in my
Really?
life. Yeah.
All right. Your
But
experience is much different then.
yeah, Chicago, it's a lot of people are a lot of the bartenders are like 35 and up, so
Mhm.
they've been doing it a long time. But
Oh,
they were super fast, but they were probably they knew a lot of the people, so like people were patient. I don't know.
wow.
Yeah.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're 35 and doing it, you do it for a living and you care about your job,
Yeah. I love
right?
bartending. I think
I
it's
I loved it.
yeah.
Mm,
Cheers.
cheers. Hope that wasn't too loud on the thing.
No, that was quiet.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I felt like if somebody wants to do that for a living, like they have no intentions of transitioning into corporate America, yeah, and like they're going to do it and they're going to do it well because
Yeah.
you depend on that. And obviously, the better you do, the more tips you get, the more Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights you're going to get, and you get the schedule that you want, things like that. So.
Yeah.
But it's the bartenders that are doing it and they don't care, and maybe they're like, I don't know, 24 and don't care about anything and haven't
Mhm.
realized that eventually you have to adult a little bit more than just making rent money.
Yeah.
Um, and they just it could be like a crazy Friday night and everybody else is running around like a chicken with its head cut off, and then there's the young male bartender just like do do do
Really?
Oh my God, it drove me nuts.
See, we could get fired at any second. So if you weren't pulling in more than 1,200 was really low. If you were not
Yeah.
pulling more than 1,800, you are not going to be on the schedule next week unless you're like
Wow.
a manager. Excuse my language. What's your dad's
Wow.
name?
He's the grumpy tomato. I don't think I've
Sorry,
seen him
Grumpy
in there yet.
Tomato. I'll do better.
Yeah, tomato paste is in here, and that's my mama. I haven't even checked the
Hi,
chat. I'm so
Mom.
sorry, guys. Normally I'm on this. But yeah, she's my number one. She's shown up. I kid you not. She's
I love
shown up
that.
for everything, everywhere.
Woo.
I mean, even if sometimes she has to catch it later,
Yeah.
but she's a night owl too, so this works out great for her.
Yeah.
But she did already let me know she might not be able to hang out too much in this one because she's actually hanging out with my grandparents tonight.
Oh.
So no, I don't think they want to listen to their granddaughter talk about bartending stories or anything like that. So
Cheers.
fair assessment. Cheers.
What made you start drinking Prosecco?
Good question. So I have run through all of the beverages. I've run through them all. I've had my phases, and I know you didn't expect me to be in my late 30s, but
I know. I was like, wait, what?
I'm like a pro at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm 36. Thanks to Freak for putting that one in there. I'm 36 years old. I'm ancient. Okay. According to the manosphere world, I'm post-wall. I didn't just hit the wall. I ran into it head first like a crash test dummy. Okay. But I'm 36. So obviously, I went through the beer drinking phase. I went through the wine. I went through the bourbons. I went through where I was drinking a Jack and Ginger, a vodka cran, the
Tequila?
Jägermeister. Okay. I've learned with tequila.
Jaeger.
Okay.
That
Oh
was
my
like
God.
drink in high school.
Oh my God. Well, when I was in high school, you were in probably diapers, okay?
Doesn't
Or maybe grade
Who
school.
cares? Who cares?
But when Jaeger was popular, that's when I was like, I don't even think I was 21. I think I was like 19 when Jaeger hit really hard, like the Jaeger bombs and stuff.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jaeger bombs. It's been a minute. Anytime somebody says something, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that shot. A Jaeger bomb is so common.
Well, now you have cherry bombs, grape bombs, cherry grenades, like all those other little things, which is great because I can handle vodka way better. So when the other variations of the bombs came out, it was so much better. I hope this doesn't get flagged because we're saying this word.
Oh, I was thinking about it. Like, oh no. Oh,
Context is key, guys. It's a drink.
I didn't even know that the names of the drinks were based on actual like bombing events. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, in Ireland, that's where the car bomb comes from. People are really sensitive to it. When I was in Vegas, I had to learn like 1,200 drinks and the names of it, where it came from, exactly what you make with it or whatever. But I remember thinking, car bomb, there's so many bombs. Like there's so many.
That's a scary concept if you think about it. Like what creepy person was sitting around being like, yo, I'm going to put some stuff in some Guinness and we're going to make it a car bomb.
I don't know, but God bless his soul, because those are addictive. I think they're good. Have you tried one?
Oh God, it curdles my stomach.
It doesn't. Have you had it? You got to try it. Oh, really? You didn't?
Well, here's what I think I did wrong, because I only tried a car bomb once. And I think I let it sit too long, because when I dropped it, I was like so hesitant to drink it that I'm sitting there and I'm just like, Yeah. And so by the time I did finish getting it, it had already curdled over. So
if you do more, like, I think it's Jameson and Bailey's, just do more Jameson than Bailey's. Just do like a dab of it, and then you won't get any of that issue. Yeah.
All right.
Unless you want to strain it, but like that seems really excessive.
That'd be a lot of work.
Yeah, for the car bomb, not worth it.
Yeah. But so I've gone through, let me circle back around. I've gone through all of these phases of all of these different drinks in my life, and I've enjoyed them. But I remember having like champagne like really having a drink for the first time and actually sitting down and enjoying the bottle. And I was like, man, it's so bubbly and I feel energized. I'm not tired. I'm not like a squirrel on crack with Red Bull. Like all of these different like beer just makes me feel bloated. And I'm like, gosh, this is the perfect combination for me.
Yeah.
And so thus began my love for like champagne, prosecco. I love a good brut. Veuve is my favorite, but they're like 70 something dollars a bottle. So I don't get those often because I'm like, that's just too much
Yeah.
for something that's going to last me only a few hours.
Yeah. It goes so quickly. Champagne.
It does.
Any champagne or even prosecco. Yeah. Prosecco champagne, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like
Right.
I feel like it's a sweeter, it's like a sweet wine,
Yeah.
but it's a bubbled sweet wine. But I still consider it to be a champagne. I think it's just a matter of where it comes from is what you can call it, right? Because champagne can only come from champagne.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Yeah.
I think prosecco, they do something different with the grapes. Like I know they do something different with what do you call the rosé? So
Yeah.
it has like half like purple grapes and then half white. And then when it comes to, I think prosecco and champagne would probably be, I don't know. I feel like I learned this and I don't remember. Hold on, let me let my dog just out of this room because she keeps barking.
Yeah, do your thing. Yeah, it says Italian sparkling wine, and it's a brut. Yeah, I think it's because it's considered a wine, whereas the champagne is champagne still considered a wine?
Have you ever put grenadine in it?
No, I don't like grenadine. It's too syrupy and sweet. Oh, no. Just
Damn
like
it.
I don't like peach schnapps, but we were talking about the Chambord and stuff earlier, but something like that's not it's still dense, but it's not quite as like sugary.
Grand Marnier and stuff.
Grand Marnier, like, oh my God, I used to shoot Grand Marnier with like a Sprite chaser, like a little like a little thing of Sprite to chase it, like straight shot.
I had one customer that did it exactly the same, but it was
Mhm.
7-Up. It was a
Yeah.
bar. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
They loved it.
Oh
They
my
loved
God.
orange
Well,
liqueurs.
it's really smooth going down, and it's not like, when if you did a shot of vodka or bourbon or something, like you'd get that really hard
Yeah.
tickle in the back of your throat. You're like, "Oh, that burns."
I don't get that anymore.
Oh my God, you're a professional. But Grand Marnier, it's like it's so much smoother and it's got that sweeter kick to it. So you're still getting like that feeling of doing a shot of vodka, but it's not quite as hard on you. So
Yeah.
it's not it's a little bit easier. But I remember doing those like turned 21 and people were doing shots of Grand Marnier with the Sprite kickback. Oof.
So it was
Wait.
a thing.
It was a thing.
I thought it was so weird when he ordered it. It was in
Yeah.
Texas when I worked in Houston. And I was like, that's
Oh.
new. I've never seen anybody do that, but
Mm.
they
No,
like
I mean, I feel like it's an East Coast thing because it was in Virginia where people were doing it out here, but there was a lot of military close to that area as well, so it might have been, somebody
hell no.
imported that concept, from
The military.
Yeah.
They drink
Yeah.
Jack and Coke and that's it.
No.
Yes, that's all they drink.
No, they do not. Well,
Marines.
no, they're like the most adventurous ones. Now they'll start off with a Jack and Coke, but once you get them going crazy, they're like shots all around. They're nutballs, man.
I've seen Adios Mother Fudge and Jack and Coke, Captain and Coke. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, they're very boring over here, unfortunately.
Sounds like it. Well, we have down in Virginia, we had it was a huge Marine base down there. They had officer training school. Maybe that's the difference because they had officers down there. They have the money to explore other options.
Yeah.
And it's DC, so they're, and it's everybody's importing in, going through a training, and then they leave. So they all learn different things in one area.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends where you are and what's going on for sure.
Yeah. They'll try whatever. Like I've seen them try girly drinks, if you will, and like It's just that when I see them, it's like Jack and Coke, Jack and Coke. I'm like, did you just drink that? Sir, slow down. He's like, if I remember your face, it's too close together.
Yes. Yes. What's your worst bartending story?
I had a guy came in and he ordered a stout and then he ordered some mixed cocktail. And I had only a few guests and they were at like the end of the bar and all of a sudden they just vomited everywhere. I was young too. I think I was newly 21. I was like, wait, what? Nobody was in there, but I had to get I had to get the bar back to clean it. I cleaned it. I got him an Uber because Uber was around or whatever and sent him to his house. But that was the first moment that I was like, oh crap, you got to be careful if people are drinking beforehand.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh my
It
God.
smelled like that for a long time. It was gross. What about you?
I don't know if I have. I thought about the question, but I didn't think about my own answer.
Any bad guests?
Um,
Have you
gosh,
ever
it
been
depends.
unable to close out?
Oh my God, those are rough. That's when you just I mean, always taking cards, of course, but that's when you close yourself out and give yourself like 30% and say F it, whatever. But are you talking about like drinking too much and not being able to
meant that, but I was trying to
down
think of
out?
what you were throwing down.
Yes. Okay. There was one, and I never went back after.
Oh, you just bartended?
Huh?
Was it like a guest gig or something?
It was like a one night a week gig that, and they found me and, I was like, yeah, cool. And I kind of didn't care about the place anyways. The numbers were good as far as the sales, but the tipping didn't match the sales. And I kept feeling like I was getting shafted because I wasn't like, it was like me and the other bartender, like they were counting the tips out.
Yep.
But they would never let me and I was like, I don't like this. So I wasn't there very long because that's an issue for me. You talk to any bartender and their money, they will count even if you've counted 10 times.
Yeah.
And money doesn't just like, I had another problem with the servers coming back, like the little cocktail, table service girls, and they would come to the back and reach in our bucket to trade out for like hundreds for ones. And I'm like, no, I don't care how busy I am. You get a manager to do that, or you wait for me to do it. Like I just had so many issues with this. So obviously I just didn't care, right? I didn't feel like the money was coming in the way it was supposed to. It wasn't matching the numbers.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was being shafted somewhere along the line. Mm-hmm. And we had there was a night when one of the guests that came up to the bar was like, can I buy you a shot? And I'm like, you certainly can. Because at this point, I was just like, I don't care. So they bought me a shot and I did like a little lemon drop and everything and all of that stuff. And then it just turned from one lemon drop to somebody else wanted to buy me a shot, somebody else. And I was just like going and going and going. And thank God I had a friend that lived in DC. I remember calling them and I was like,
help.
I remember being in the back and I was trying to like count out or something. And I just remember saying out loud, like, I'm too drunk to drive all the way home. Can I stay with you tonight? And I remember looking around and like the manager was standing there, the owner was standing there, the other bartender, and everybody just had like this look of like, oh my God, why is she, and I just never went back after that. Cause I was like, I don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, see,
I see you in the back. We're gonna finish up girl talk for a little bit, but then I'll bring you on, and whenever we get to that point. But I see you there.
Let me grab my dog again.
Yeah, do your thing, doggy duty. I love dogs. So to the crowd, I want to know what is everybody's favorite drink. You probably have been saying it. I have not paid attention to the chat. I apologize. Usually, I'm very focused on the chat. And tonight I suck at this for some reason. So if everybody could just type in what their favorite drink is. Water. I love that. Whiskey on the rocks, chick drinks, fair enough. So are we talking like Bahama Mama, pina coladas? Oh my God, that brings me to the idea, frozen drinks. Have
Mm,
you ever had to work at a bar that does those?
yeah.
Like oh my God.
I can
And
make
it's like,
them too on the spot, but it's just a
it is. And it's always like blender's broke. Sorry, can't do it.
yeah, you fill up a little baggie of ice and zip it, then
Hmm.
take your metal container and just mash it. Pour the
Hmm.
alcohol in it, put the bag back in the freezer, get your glass, all that stuff. Once you have all your stuff, take it out and it'll be like in slushy format and then just
Wow.
yeah.
That's pretty wise. But the fact that you're even taking that much time to do that,
Yeah,
that's
well,
love.
I mean, it doesn't take that long if you are I mean, I'll take like tens of orders at a time. I've always
Mhm.
worked really high volume, but
Yeah.
even if you're just kind of like this and then they give you your order because you saw them right away, they're
Mhm.
patient, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The eye contact is key.
Yeah.
Like, just a little head nod, like, "Yes, I see you. I'll be right there." And then you go like, you run your line,
Yeah.
"What do you want? What do you" and then my favorite is when you could have, like, 10 deep, 10 over,
Yeah.
right? And they're all waiting, and you come up to somebody, and you're like, "What can I get for you?" And they're like, and you're like, "Moving on. What can I get for you?" They could just
I
keep
can
moving.
usually tell what they'll get just based on what they look like. So
Mhm.
I'll say the drink and then they're like, yeah.
You're
And then
so
they think I'm
great.
a wizard.
Oh, you're a psychic, actually.
Yeah.
You're a witch. All women are witches. Be careful, because we can tell you exactly what's going on and what you're gonna be doing and what you're going to drink.
Yeah. You just notice patterns at a certain point.
Mhm.
It just becomes, I mean, I guess that's kind of wrong. Probably not the best thing if you can recognize patterns, but I'm only doing it so that you guys get your drinks quickly.
Well, and that brings me kind of to the next concept is men in dating
Hmm.
and how dating it like, being a bartender has kind of, like, ruined dating or maybe made dating even easier to pick them out in terms of the bad ones faster.
Yeah. Yeah. You can just know who's good, who's not, at least from that pool of people. But yeah, a lot of the smoother they are, the more outgoing they are, probably the more slutty they are. I don't know. I've always met people and dated, like my boyfriends I've met at places of work, but I always came
Mhm.
up to them. Just like
Yeah?
threw a lime at them. I'm like, hey, come here.
"Hey, you with the face." But I feel like you also kind of have your pick of the litter being a bartender because everybody wants the bartender, but
Oh,
the
yeah.
bartender doesn't want anybody, but then when she does pick somebody, it's like, "Oh, guys,
Yeah.
I'm it,"
I didn't know it was like a sort of a kink, like men just really want the bartender because she's
Mhm,
nobody can have her. I didn't know that
mhm,
until I was
mhm.
like 27. It's like, really? This is a well-known thing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
You
very
get
much
so many people hitting on you when they're wasted. And so it's like, come see me tomorrow. And if you remember me, then maybe I'll get
right.
you or
Maybe
whatever.
we'll have a conversation. Well, I think it's because I compare it to like a celebrity, even like being a YouTuber, it's the same concept. Like, you are this thing,
Rock
right? That
star.
yeah, and you exist in a more fantasy style world. Like, you are the bartender and you're not part of the party, but you make the party happen, right?
Yeah.
And that makes you like the celebrity, the MC, the host, the special person that everybody knows, but she doesn't know any of them. There's like
Yeah.
2,000 of them that run through and see her face in a night, but she doesn't know any of them.
Yeah.
But everybody knows their favorite bartender, right?
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So they at least know him by face.
Yeah.
So with that, like, it makes you kind of like the celebrity of the bar or the community that you're in, or
That's nice to you because they want free drinks and yada yada.
mhm. And everybody wants to know somebody like, "Oh, I know the bartender, we're good." Like,
All the guys want to, and I always wondered why. And then as I got older, it's like, oh, because it's kind of status. Like if you're like, oh, hi, Tori, when they walk in, like, yeah,
yeah.
I know her. So you're
Mhm.
John.
Well, And if you know their name,
I
it makes
always
them
do.
feel
I'm
even
so
more
good at it.
special.
I was
Yeah.
like known as the person that remembered names. So bartenders would be like, "Hey, do you remember that guy's name?" I'm like, "Jerry? Yeah, to ask him about his child." Like
Oh,
I'm really good at it.
or best case, worst case scenario, maybe, like, you know what they drink and you know their stories, like, their backstory. You may forget their name, but you'll have them queued in on the computer, like, the kiosk is like, Yuengling, because he always drinks Yuengling or something like
Yeah.
that. Or like, Katie's dad or I don't know, some weird
Or
thing like that.
that guy.
That one dude, we actually had a regular, we named him Tiffany's bracelet on his tabs because none of us could remember his name, but, he
Was that
came
like
in.
chained? Like,
No, he bought me a Tiffany's bracelet.
oh,
Yeah,
SE.
so
That would have
I
been his name in my computer, Sugar Daddy.
sugar daddy. Well, that's what the girls always said that anytime he walked in, and they're like, "Your sugar daddy's here, Sarah." And I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
joyous."
great.
But they weren't complaining the way he was tipping either, so,
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
all had to share it, and, he would you know how you always have to share, and so he would give me 2 pieces. He'd be like, "Listen, put this one in the bucket. It's
Yeah.
fair enough to go around. It's more than enough to go around, but this one's just for you." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay. As long as you gave one to both, then I'll do it that way." But
Yeah.
outside of that, I'm a big believer in sharing the cause, so
Yeah. Tip karma, you know?
exactly,
But if your
exactly.
tips are coming out weird and the other person's counting the money.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, I was kind of trying that place out. I wasn't sure if I even wanted to stay, and I only wanted, like, 1 night a week anyways, because I already had another gig going, and so it was just like, the first time I was like, maybe it was just a fluke, the money seemed weird, but then, like, 2nd week, 3rd week, and then by the 4th week, I'm like, no, this is too consistent," and watching everything around me, I'm like, "Nah,
Yeah.
not at all."
I used to
So
get hired on to, like later in my bartending career to pick out the people stealing and find loopholes in the system and figure
mhm.
out or whatever. And they got really creative. If you go on a smoke break, they're probably going to take from the bucket, just like
Oh
that.
god.
Yeah. So, and I smoked. So I didn't realize that until I went back through cameras and I was like, that's cinema.
Damn.
Yeah, so that, when you can do the thing like, "Oh, I forgot to pull the money from the last tab and I'm closing cash,
Mhm.
pull that out, pull in a 5, put the 5 to the side, put the rest in the tip bucket." Yeah, I mean, they'll do it so many different ways. They'll have comp tabs and, the people already paid for those drinks technically, and then what's his face, like your manager will comp it out, and then you'll take that from cash. I mean, there's so many ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dirty, and well, it's even dirtier when that's the number 1 rule I always felt as a bartender is, don't with our money,
Yeah.
that because that's the one place where we'll get crazy, like,
Yeah.
crazy protective, very, like,
I mean, you
"Where's the
don't work
bucket?"
for free, you know?
Right, that is
Like,
your money, that's your
yeah,
living.
yeah,
I'll never forget, we had a girl who, she was actually kind of, inflating our buckets, in a it we didn't
rounding
think
it.
she was she was,
Me
she
too.
was stealing, like, she would tell somebody not from us, but from the bar,
Yeah.
but it was benefiting us, we just didn't know it, so it made us all feel
Mhm.
dirty when we all found out, but she would, like, because we knew what everybody knows, if you give somebody a bottle of Bud Light, how
Right.
much it is. So if
Yeah.
they hand you a 5, you know exactly what the change is gonna be, so on and so forth. So she was doing that, but she was telling them exactly how much, but instead of giving them cash out of the register,
Mhm.
she was giving them cash out of the tip, like change out of the tip jar. Or if they said, "Just keep the change," because it was only like a dollar something back,
Yeah.
she would just put the whole 10 in the bucket.
Oops.
No, like, we were completely blindsided, like, we all just
Yeah.
showed up one day and she was gone, and we're like, "Wait, why is she not on the schedule?" Like,
Oh, good. They've picked up on it though.
they picked up on it,
Bar
because they
back.
had cameras. They had the cameras. We didn't have bar backs. We were doing our own
Oh,
stuff.
really?
But yeah. Oh my God. The manager would take care of like the beer tabs because they were in a completely separate room. But all the other stuff, we did all the like ice and everything ourselves. But
Yes, we had to do beer tab. Like we had to put it traumatized
ooh,
me.
trying to change a
Yeah,
keg. Oh my God.
sprayed it all on myself the first time, and I was like, I'm gonna get fired because it's Vegas. Like they don't sound like the best of the best get hired. And
Oh my God.
maybe I can just, and then manager's just like, just go, get back behind the bar. I was like, okay, sorry, bye. That's what you do if you don't want to ever do something the first time, and
Yes.
they'll never ask you
Yes.
again.
But I'll never forget the first keg I finally like changed on my own. And I was like so proud of myself because I'm like, look, it didn't fly everywhere. Look, I got it on right. Look, it's working, guys. It's working. But then after that, you're like, I'm a pro. I got this.
Yeah, if you can get it, but just when you look at it, you're like, oh, it makes sense to pull this, and it never goes well.
It
Never.
never goes well.
Yeah.
No.
We had to do it
No.
behind the bar too. We had like a keg behind the bar,
Mhm.
you know, the little ones.
And you
Ugh,
got to pick them up and like grab them out. And it's
yeah,
like, tink.
yeah, yeah. Luckily I worked with 5 really muscular gay men because it was at a gay nightclub. So
Nice.
they took care of all that stuff, and I just worked my magic on speed bar or whatever. I'm really fast, but it's pretty much all I got going for me. You want to have a like long conversation during a slow hour? I'm awkward. I'll do it, but like
That's probably what makes you so cute, though. You're probably like a total moron. You know what I mean? But you're a girl, so it's like, oh, she's so cute. What a sweetheart. Bless her heart.
yeah. Yeah, if they're older, they would always mansplain, which I hate that word, but
Oh yeah.
they would want to teach me like how to form an LLC because I was doing stuff on the side and whatever.
Mhm,
And it's just like I got a lot of really good advice, honestly, from like the top
mhm.
of the top. I mean, you never know who's gonna sit in your bar seat. So
True. Very true.
yeah.
Um, I think I had what's his name from oh, what's that band?
Oh, do you have famous people?
What is his name? Only because he was a bar back there, and this was down in Annapolis. He was a bar back there from Good Charlotte. It was from Good Charlotte. His name was Benjamin something. I forget his last name, but he showed up one night, and I didn't know him from Adam, but then all the owners knew him because they're like, oh, that's such and such. Like he always comes here because this is where he like got his first job, and like they supported his band and all these other things, and so he always comes back every now and then when he's in town. And I was like, oh, that's cool,
Yeah.
But I think that was as famous as it went. And
Really?
Good Charlotte's not that big.
No, they're big. What about in DC? Do you have any public figures? I feel like they're the only ones that go out.
I mean, I got a picture with Kevin Bacon, but that was not while I was bartending.
Oh, okay.
And that was down in like at the Marine Corps Museum. He was touring there for an upcoming movie. That was with Ashley, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
this was, and I think I was like 19, and she happened to be there, and she called me, woke me up. I think I was cocktailing at that time because I was still I think I was 19.
yeah.
And she called me. She's like, "Get your over here right now." Blah 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 blah. Kevin Bacon's here, and I'm like, okay.
Not all
And I got
heroes wear capes. That's so nice of her.
and she did. So her and I have a picture of us with Kevin Bacon. So
Nice.
we are 1 degree to bacon, and that we own that picture. Like anytime somebody drops like famous people, we're like Kevin Bacon. Psh,
That's
we're
awesome.
good.
That's awesome.
But I think as far as who is that rapper? What's his name? I have met Scottie Pippen, and we actually call him No Tippin' Pippin.
Then yeah.
There's yeah. He tried to run out on his tab that night too.
He always does. It's his
What
thing.
Oh, it is his thing, isn't it? But who? Oh God, No, is his name Karma? No.
What does he
No.
do? He's a rapper?
He's a rapper, I think. Karma.
Karma. Carmen?
Carmen.
What's a song? Do you have a
Or
song?
no, was he a rapper or a box? Oh God, I can't even remember now. But he
Boxer.
spelled it. No, it was something that he spelled with a.
Carmen.
Ah, can't remember.
Like,
Bill Clinton came through as well. And this was when I was bartending at an airport. Best gig ever,
yeah,
actually.
it's union, isn't it?
No,
Oh, it's
no, no. It is a corporate level bar, so you have insurance and all that, but your hours are actually normal hours.
yeah. That's
You're
what.
not bartending till 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah,
And the peak hours, it's like working a day job,
yeah.
and you could work the you could work the was it
Happy
like
hour.
well, essentially like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. You could work the 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. or you can work the 2 to 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because
That
the
is
bar, that entire airport actually shut down, and it was in DC. So that airport shut down after midnight. Like they, because of the local laws, they couldn't fly out after a certain time because the noise ordinance, because it was
right.
like right over housing and everything. So because of that, like we had no reason to stick around.
How
There,
many
like
bartenders on each
you
shift?
would have 2 to 3. It depends on what's going on, but whoever's the mid,
Mhm.
they would kind of like swing one way or the other, whether they're coming in early or staying later. And they can choose to stay later. So if like there's a bunch of delays, there's a monsoon outside, they could stick around and work, and you're both there till midnight because everybody's delayed.
Yeah.
And that's when you're really pumping it out. But it's the most consistent. You know exactly how much you're gonna make every day. It was never a question. Yeah, like it was always busy. Didn't
Yeah.
matter because, and actually, it was helpful to work like on a Monday shift because everybody was flying into DC or out or so on and so forth, like a day shift. Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Sunday, everybody's flying back home.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I mean, Sundays were packed,
Yeah.
ridiculously packed. So it was the most consistent job I'd ever worked and the most reliable. And you're not nightclubbing it. You're not like puffy eyes at 3 a.m. or
The
crawling into
nightclubs.
bed. The music's not loud. It's not crazy, and it's, you don't have to like flash your to make a buck. Like you just have to show up in that instance and you can look kind of fairly normal,
Really?
in that aspect, yeah.
Like, what do you wear? Just khakis or
Like
something?
like a shirt. I would wear a shirt like this, but it would be like short sleeve, but it would,
Oh,
I'd do like semi-low cut, but then you could wear your black leggings and call it a day or
that's nice.
yeah, I mean, you could wear whatever you wanted at the time, but,
Yeah.
it just had to all be black, no big deal.
Yeah,
Everything's black. Do you own a bunch of black clothes?
yeah, I do. Yeah, black and nude, and then just your random neon bodysuit of some sort that you're like, what was this for? Probably a holiday.
Yeah. And then
Sorry.
on holidays, you're obligated to dress up or on, football, if there's like a football thing going on, you're obligated to wear a jersey or something. And
I was usually ahead of or like in charge of uniforms. It depended. So we would all wear the same thing. There was very rarely football games that we dressed up for unless we worked. It depended on where. I mean, I've worked in a lot of different types of bars, but most of the time it's just your tights, almost opaque kind of like leggings, and they would be skin colored, thigh-high socks, gym shoes, or thigh-high boots if you want. Most of us wore gym shoes though because we were there for a while.
yeah.
And then black bodysuit with flannel over your waist, and that was pretty much like the look.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm so thankful. I just got away with just wearing black.
Yeah.
Just black, like nothing too crazy. Like the nightclubs I was at, it was just, just something black at least. That was it. Look sexy, please. And
yeah, for guest bartenders, it doesn't really matter. Just a black cocktail dress or something.
Yeah, it was fun to like dress up for that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, God, I couldn't imagine doing this like too much, having to, especially if
It's
you have to have
nice.
your hair down.
You had to have your hair down.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I used to set up beauty stations wherever I work. So I would bring like curling irons, straighteners, dry shampoo, whatever. So, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, you could even wash your hair if you wanted. They have like the on the wall dryer. It's great for
No
both.
way.
Yeah, 10 out
Well,
of
yeah,
10
because it gets so sticky,
to
and
keep
it's
a
especially if
line.
it's long.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The only thing I like really hated,
Mm,
like, because I loved to wear my hair down,
mhm.
naturally, anyways. But bartending, it just drove me up a wall because it would just get so sticky,
Yeah.
like from all of the like bottle slinging stuff, and stuff's like just, or it would touch the bar and get into some type of liquid somewhere, and it's just gross.
If you put on leave-in conditioner, like a spray or something,
Mhm.
it works as like a barrier from that stuff.
Really?
But I didn't learn that until really later, like almost like a week before I stopped bartending. I was
No
like,
way.
yeah, yeah, it
No
was,
way. I kind of liked the high ponies, doing like a high pony, maybe with like a little puff up in between that,
yeah,
and that worked well because at least it was like off. You get so sweaty. It was like off my back, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, fair
yeah.
enough. What was your best tip ever?
Mm,
Probably like $10,000 if you were in Vegas.
no, but
Here,
people would give you like 800, and their tab would be, if they were gambling there, their tab was comped, I believe. I never
Mhm,
dealt with comps, but they would 800, but you would end up splitting it with like 5 or 6 bartenders plus bar back 20%. So it
mhm,
wasn't that much when divvied up, but the most I've ever
right.
gotten by myself was 1300.
Damn.
Yeah, it was. I've never gotten 1300 again. I've gotten hundreds regular.
Mhm.
It just depends, but 1300, that was, I got it only once.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive though. What but was that in Vegas?
No, it was actually one of my first gigs. And
Really?
yeah, I guess other people served. It was a guy and a couple of dudes. They served them before and they tip well, but they tipped me exceptionally well. Like maybe I was accidentally over pouring. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know why they did that. Because I was so awkward and shy. It was like, looking back on it, I didn't get outgoing until I worked in the city and I was drinking and kind of forced to say hi and make
Yeah.
conversation.
Do you
So
feel like you're a better bartender when you at least have a shot or two in you?
I can do it either. You want to get me drunk? I'm all for it. You don't want to get me
Mhm.
drunk? That's okay too.
Yeah,
I
fair
love to
enough.
be there.
See, it always messed me up. I'm happier, I'm peppier, like, I'm what you would consider like the social bartender,
The
like the one
schmoozer.
that, yeah, and I get them
Yeah.
going when there's a band in, and I'm just like getting everybody rocking to it, and
Yeah.
that's my style. Um, my preference is always to be on service bar because then I don't feel the need that I
Talk
have to
to
talk to
anybody.
people. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, this is so zen right now."
Yeah. You're just in the zone and
Yeah,
go.
you're in like robot mode.
I love working the
Um,
well. We call it
oh,
working the well, but yeah.
well, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
But oh my god, I completely forgot where
Oh,
I was going.
wait, what was your biggest tip?
But if I have like a shot or two or
Oh,
something like that, that would like completely destroy me.
what?
Yeah, like because I'm a lightweight.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I have one shot, I'm probably okay, but I'm gonna be like, oof, okay,
Really? You could take
gotta,
half.
I gotta focus. Well, I'm not a big drinker. Like I
Yeah.
might drink once a week, but
Yeah.
me drinking, my body's like, "Oh, hey, what's this?
Yeah.
This is new again. Hello."
It used to make us more money. That's why we did it, because we could put it on the tabs and stuff. But
Mhm.
I mean, like Patron Cafe sounds disgusting. I had to work from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So I was like I didn't have a break. And so
Mm-mm.
I took that. It was St. Patrick's Day or something. And it gave me a little push without
Little
like your
boost.
heart racing like a Red Bull would. Like, but I think it's disgusting. It doesn't taste good.
Oh,
But
it
you
looks
get
like
in the zone if you're like, if people are very frigid, having one shot might just be the glue that they need, you know?
mhm. Yeah, no, it's very possible. It looks like you had a couple, um, super chats here that I'm so sorry I missed them. I
I
didn't
didn't know it
realize
didn't
it.
even pop up for me. Thank you for the super chat. Keep your girl off OnlyFans one shot at a time. Cheers, ladies. Have one for me. Cheers.
Oh, I'll have
Woo.
10 for you. Cheers.
Any difference in bars before and after smoking ceased? Oh yeah. I didn't
Oh my
work
god.
when smoking was allowed, but that was before the housing crash, wasn't it?
Mhm, yeah, 'cause I think it was like, I remember I was pregnant with my daughter when the smoking ban, like, really kicked out, especially on the East Coast, like, all of Virginia was shutting it down, Maryland was shutting it down, DC, like, they had already been shut down on that concept. There you have to be, like, grandfathered in very specifically to be able to allow smoking in your bar, but the difference is actually better. I felt like more people stayed longer
Really?
because yeah, because you can, like, withstand it, you can breathe, like, everybody's happier, and the smokers, like, they just go outside, no big deal, and then they come back in, nobody complains, and this because the smokers are actually smoking less, they're actually inside drinking more because you can't
Really?
take a beer with you when you go outside.
Oh, we could. If we would have like different balconies, sort of,
Mhm.
but they were on the first floor. It was weird, but you had to
Yeah.
put. But most places you can't bring glass outside.
Right,
Yeah,
right. But because of that, like, and, me being pregnant at the time, I was so grateful,
yeah,
like,
that's so awesome.
yeah, because, like, you don't have to you're not around smoke and all of that stuff, you're not inhaling it, and it's just 10 times better, and you don't wake up smelling like, you smell your hair, it's like,
Yeah,
"Ah, it still smells like me and not a pack of cigarettes, this is great."
I have
So,
to shower when I get off shift, or I will
oh,
feel
yeah,
gross.
yeah. Yeah, it gets, like, super nasty, like, with the sweatiness and
I couldn't even get my tights off. They would be like stuck to me. Oh God, just
ooh,
thinking about it, cringing.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shiza. So, have you ever dated men who, come and see you while you're bartending and have issues with you bartending?
I had one that wanted to keep me like barefoot pregnant in the kitchen and offer to like support me that way, but I loved bartending. So no. I mean, that was the only guy that was weird about it, but he also met me behind the bar. So it was
Mhm.
like and went out all the time. But other than that, yeah, I mean some would come in and just like watch people who would talk to me, but I was like friends with a lot of people and just I was known for berating people. So even who I was friends with, like I'm making fun of them. So most of them were
Mhm.
like fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, from my knowledge. They were probably really jealous, honestly.
Oh gosh.
What about you?
I've had some come in and just, like, sit there almost every shift, and
Oh no.
yeah, and it was like that only lasted, like, 3 times of them sitting there for most of the time, and then I'm like, "Listen, like, you're kind of
You're
this
ruining my
is
tips.
yeah, I can't be me with
Yeah.
you, like, I can't do my job, and be a flirt, and, like, you can't do this."
Did they bring
But
it up after shifts? Were they like, I don't like when you do XYZ?
no, thankfully, that wasn't an issue, but it was just the idea that they were there. I probably naturally stayed on better behavior.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, they didn't have anything, in front of them,
Yeah.
and if a guy is sitting there watching his girl, like, every man at the bar is going to be watching that guy watching his girl because
Oh
they can
yeah.
see that,
Yeah.
and they're not gonna do anything if they see and recognize that, so
Have you ever caught anybody filming you?
I don't think so.
Pay
That's kind of
attention.
weird.
pay attention. They're doing
No
it.
way.
Yeah, and you legally can't do anything. I've had a guy throw a bar stool at me when I took his phone. I was like, "You disgusting." Yeah,
That's gross.
they're
Like,
doing it so often. More of them are doing it than not doing it. Pay attention. Pay attention.
so gross, dude. Like, are they getting you while you're
$100
going down deep in the beer cooler? You know, you're bending
Yes,
over in the beer.
yes.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
That's dirty. At least ask first, you know. I'll at
They
least pose for you, make it good.
they
You
don't they
know?
like it that you don't know.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's what most men will do when they're there.
Oh, the weird men. That's not a gentleman. Just a weird dude.
Well,
No, that's
sure.
weird.
Gentlemen, I don't think would have their phone out at all, to be honest with you. I'm talking about
Good
like,
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
like those guys can make conversation without being on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of bartenders and phones, being on their phones.
I hate it. I if I see any of my bartenders just constantly on their phone, I just dismiss them and bring somebody else in because it's so rude
Nice.
to customers. At
Yeah.
least like turn around. If you're going to be on your phone, you're not you don't have a sense of urgency ever, and I just can't work with you personally.
Mm-hmm.
You can come back in on
Absolutely.
like a Monday. Like,
Yeah. I get it if you're like pulling up a certain if somebody's talking about us, if it's slow. Only if it's slow and somebody's like, "Dude, I want this shot. Somebody made it XYZ." And you're like, "Let's pull it up." I always like to take my phone specifically in front of the
and
customer
bring
and
it and
do
put
it
it down. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that it's very clear we're both looking at this and I'm not just sitting there like scrolling Facebook or something stupid. But that always drove me absolutely up a wall, especially if you're busy or there's stuff that needs to get done or whatever, and somebody's over there like,
And then they would like they'd huff and puff, get off of it and come up to you just while you're shaking, just like so and so texted me, like trying to like make it. I'm like, don't even tell me to.
Nope.
I'm the worst person to tell. Like,
Yep.
leave. I'd rather do this by myself. I don't know why we're splitting tips. Like, if you want to be on your phone, you better be freaking good at schmoozing.
Yes.
I have to do all the drinks. I don't have a problem with it, but go bring your phone by them. Okay, go.
Yeah. Or if they have regulars that they're in communications with, and they're like, "Oh, like if it's a slow day or something, or I'm sorry, so like a slow night."
Yeah.
And you're just like, kind of like, man, we need more. We know we're going to need more like tippers up here. And it's like, ooh, text everybody. Okay, let's all go to our phones and text all the regulars and tell them, or like Insta, whatever. I don't know. And they come flying. Okay, that's working for everybody's advantage here.
Yeah, or if they're getting Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yes.
Love them.
Oh my God. The regulars that bring stuff in.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites because they're like, "Oh, I know you like a venti chai tea latte, Sarah. I brought one in." And I'm like, "Oh, praise baby Jesus. You're
What do you need? I got you.
Or they're like, "Hey, tell me the bar's Starbucks order,"
Yeah. And they come in with just stacks and stacks of frappuccinos. Like not all heroes wear capes. Love them.
No, not all at all.
Yeah.
But those I know that the guys always liked it when my regulars walked in the door and they would all like high five me and they're like, "Oh, we're making money tonight, guys," because they know they're my tippers.
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, Sarah, perk up, I'm shaking a little. Come on, let's go. Work it."
Yeah. Yeah, I love my bartenders that have high tippers. I'm always like, do your thing. I'll take care of everything else.
Yes.
No problem. Go over there,
Yes. Go sit with them.
Like, willingly. Like I'm so excited.
You're going to bring in a few $100s just on one person? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, so how long did you bartend for them? Oh, wait, you did say that. You said 11 years. And then, so what actually brought you like to wanting to do that?
To bartend?
Mm-hmm.
I was working at Twin Peaks and you got graded on your hair, skin, makeup, nails, just got lined up like a cow and you're just like,
wow,
great. Like,
no way, really?
and I always was like 10 out of 10. I had platinum blonde hair at the time, and it was a Texas chain. And so whenever the DL would come in or something, they're just like, oh, this is like poster child. I was super skinny. And so they eventually were like, after 3 months, something like that, they were like, oh, we want you to bartend. And it was brought to my attention later that you needed to be there working for like 6 months minimum. Like girls would beg to be behind the bar. So I was very grateful. Like the girls were very mean about it, but then I ended up getting offered a job in the city. And then I went to go interview, which was weird because it was like 9 p.m. and you had to be all dressed up. I didn't go to a club yet. I was like newly 21. And they were just like, we want you to be a bottle service girl. And I was like, I am not going to do that. Bartending or not. And they're just like, oh, okay. And then I get behind the bar, and these are, I mean, I've never seen bartenders do like some of the stuff they were doing. It's fast, just like really outgoing. And at the end of the night, I remember being like, I literally only made $500 out of drinks like in the computer, and these bartenders were like 6,000, and I was like,
damn.
I feel like I was moving and dying. Like it
like
really,
a 3,000 night is like crazy, but like 6,000, I don't know if I could imagine that
and
one.
the drinks were like they were like $8, but they would have these comp tabs, and I didn't know, like comp tabs downtown, I mean, you were given like $100 do your thing, and I didn't know that people didn't pour things like with the little, what do you call it, measure, and I was like, how is it so fast?
You're like 1, 2. I'm a heavy. I'm a heavy on the floor,
and then I would put that down, go to pick up the soda like that. I didn't even do it like
you
this
didn't
yet.
Go both ways.
I didn't do that for like
bottles with one hand and then you're squirting with the other. Like that's when you know you're like your intermediate level.
And I remember Luke was just like,
I know, like pro level is if you can make a Long Island iced tea with just one round, you know, of picking up the bottles, then you know you're good.
I mean, by the end of it, I was doing tricks and like stunts behind the bar. I mean, we were entertaining, like, but you have to work like high volume places nonstop, back to back, no break. You get to the point where like you're picking up bottles, throwing it to your other hand just naturally for most people back there. So it's one of those things where they're like, how do you do it? I'm like, if you have to think about it, I feel like you'll mess it up. You have to do it when you don't have any time. Like that's the best way to learn. Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like every bar has a practice bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Like a plastic practice bottle.
Thing, where it's different tubes and different pours. Did you do that?
No, I mean like a practice bottle for flipping, you know, like they take like a plastic bottle, fill it up with water, and you can just, you know, like practice, you know, flipping stuff around if you wanted. I was never into the flip. I always spin the tin. Like I always like to spin the tin like on my fingers, and then I'm like, poop, you know. But
I'm sure you do some stuff that you don't even know that you're doing. That's probably flair. Yeah.
And every bartender has their I call it my popper topper. That's what I've always named it. That's what I've always said it. But your cap opener, your bottle opener.
Key. What is it?
Yeah,
bar
your
key.
Bar key. But it's always been my popper topper. Where's my popper topper? But every bartender spins their popper topper all the time. When they're not doing something, it's like they just start spinning. It's natural. It's normal. It's like, oh my God, you're bored. Okay. Signal accepted. Let's do something. Like we got to figure this out. It's like the national symbol for bartenders of I run out of to do.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I used to like I learned a trick with those. I was able to stick like I forget. I have really long arms. Like I think it was like 12 Coronas, and take the bar key and go whoosh, and they would all like.
No way.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It was tricky though. I couldn't get it for a while. I was like, you can open beer bottles where it looks like you're cutting the glass. Count me in. Like I need to learn.
Yeah, how do you do that? I don't even think I've ever seen that.
This motion sucks. Once you learn how to do that, you'll never go back. It's like
Really?
so much faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And
thankfully,
drunk
I don't bartend anymore, but, like,
yeah.
I kinda miss it, though.
Me too.
Like,
Me
I
too.
miss it a lot. It's like a whole 'nother world. It's a
Yeah.
community, it's a thing. I mean, I did bartend a couple of years ago in the community, so now, like, you know how bartenders know bartenders?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
just it's a circle of life for us, so now you can't like, I can't go to another bar without running into another bartender who has come to see me when I was bartending, and things like that, and it's just and you always pay the respect, they always give you a freebie,
Yeah.
and you always over tip them. Like, it's just it all
All my
goes right.
money. Okay, just make sure I'm safe. Like,
Yes, exactly.
yeah, hold my
Like,
purse, one of those. No.
yeah, or "Can I put my purse behind the bar,
Yeah, exactly.
please?"
And they're just
They
like,
don't
"Yeah, no problem."
yeah,
Love
because they know that you would have done that for them. It
yeah,
just yeah, but you
that's
only do that for certain people. If another girl asks and she's like, "Can I put my purse behind the bar?" And you're
$20.
and you're like,
I just charge them $20.
really? That's kind of genius. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
I like the way your mind thinks.
Yeah. Or when they're tipping with card, just stand there. It's my greatest tip. Yeah. As soon as you turn your back, you're not gonna get a tip, but if you stand there, oh yeah, baby. I don't around anymore. I got bills.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can't pay my bills, can't pay my
Yeah.
telephone bills.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What tips do you have? I must know.
Tips?
Yeah, like
For
what tricks did you do to get bigger tips? Everybody has something.
oh, I got it. Maybe I used it.
Oh, see, I actually the ROI on these babies was pretty
Yeah,
good.
you
But
I didn't even dare to wear anything low cut tonight because I'm like, there's no amount of match I can match with you.
oh, well, you're fine.
I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I show that I'm not trying because it's not even close.
Something that I've
So
learned when I've done creative directing or like doing the uniforms and stuff is that at the end of the day, men like to see different body types. Not that it
mhm,
matters, but like the girls that would be like, I have no and try to wear a bra with like an open back bodysuit that we all had to wear. It was like, don't do that. Just like own the natural thing and it
mhm,
looks so good. You might not feel like it does, but it always looked good. So
yeah.
anytime I hear something that's like, oh, I wouldn't out I'm like, shut up. Like you look good,
But
Nobody actually like compare.
I'm willing to put money on the idea that I can out act you, okay?
Oh, 100%.
Like, it's literally if they could sculpt an ass, the perfect ass, I
Yeah.
feel like mine would be the one.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna
You have
because
a
that
nice ass being skinny, like, but nothing that great.
yeah, mine's like like it's like it's not overly, but you God, it's
It's
like
there.
it's just that perfect amount of bounce, but it's not too much bounce, you know what I mean? But it's also like it's firm, but it's not like it's perfect. It's a good
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
It's you know,
Jesus, $100, okay, for my troubles. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Jesus, no.
$100 for your troubles. Um, yeah, I mean, I
Worthless.
think my tricks, I have the gift of gab.
Mm,
Even though I hate people, I'm probably much more comfortable talking to them than you would be, right? Like you feel weird or
not
whatever.
anymore. Not
Well, maybe
anymore.
not anymore now that you've,
Yeah.
done public speaking a whole lot.
Yeah.
Um,
I can make conversation with almost anybody now.
right.
Yeah.
And
But
I feel like that's the piece where I reel them in, if there is time to talk, if I'm at a slower pace bar or something like that, like, that's where I've always made the most is
yeah.
and the most investment, long-term investment to in,
Yeah.
like, customers is with, the gift of gab because they know, they understand, and they feel heard, they feel
Yeah.
understood, and, that's my magic trick, is the
Yeah.
gift of gab.
Yeah, that's good. Making
Mhm.
genuine connections. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we can do the rainbow shot. We can spin tins all and we can, like, spin the key and,
Yeah.
do little things like that, but at the end of the day, they just wanna be heard.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
You
all they
never
want.
know why they sit down in the bar seat, so
Mhm.
make it a
And
good one.
some of the ones that you don't think are going to need that the most
Yeah.
are the ones that end up needing it the
I
most.
love the miserable fucks. They end up becoming my best friend by the end of it. I'm like like, "I got you." They'll say something, I'm like, "Ah," like, I'll mock them, and they're just like, "Did you just" and I'm like, "Yes, you need a shot for doing one, okay?"
Did you hold on. You went, like, fishbowl on me for a second. Say something?
Hello, testing,
Okay,
1, 2,
you're
3.
back.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. It just, like, fishbowled out for a second and
What
then
is
came back
fish
in.
bowling? Just like,
Where it sounds like you're underwater.
"Oh, no. Oh, no, that's
Yeah.
not good."
Yeah, mine does that every now and then too, but I've learned that I can hear it in here too, so I've, like,
Oh,
learned to kind
man.
of, like,
Listen
step
for
back for
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but it's weird. Oh,
Sorry, there's so many comments. Oh my
I
god, it's
know,
popping. It's popping.
well, I've been so focused on the conversation, and
Yeah.
I'll give you that because not a lot of people can actually have me completely undivided attention. Just ask my mom, she knows well that I will do 100 things at once and be having a conversation with 20 people at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very possible. I can do it. She knows it. She understands it. So me being able to actually focus in just on you, and I haven't even looked at the comments. Neo, thankfully, he's in the back. He's pulling them up. Thank you,
Josh.
Neo. You are the star of the night.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I'm very grateful. I've got such a good it's such a good community. I think is our vinyl community in here representing tonight. I think I see some of them in here. I know we also have the Manosphere crew in here. We've got the TM what is it? TMV
TMP or something?
TV no, the Vital Message, TVM. The TVM gang is what we call that crew because that whole crew follows along in that little
Yeah.
arena. Gosh, there's so many fun names I'm seeing. What an interesting mesh.
I feel like you're like a mom. I feel like you're like you're giving the either the key holder bartender energy, like something where it's like she just walks in like hello and then just takes care of everybody so calmly. You
It's
remind
what
me of
I
this girl
do.
Joanna I used to work with, and she's the same way. Everybody
Well,
has a specific personality behind the bar.
that is what we do as a
Yeah.
mom. I am a mom. I have two. And I became a mom by 22. So I was already bartending not long before that.
Yeah.
So um probably the reason why I enjoyed the service industry so much because you're constantly serving to another human being. So it's
Yeah.
good stuff. I enjoy it. My thought process is if and I'm not even talking just behind the bar, but I'm talking as a person, as a
Mhm.
whole, you know.
Yeah.
You run into people every day, right? A cashier, you go to a restaurant, go to work, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But you run into people every day, and my theory is if I can't make somebody's day just
A
that
little.
much better,
Yeah.
then what am I doing here?
Yeah. See, that's good energy to have. Most of the bartenders that I would see come and go really were just more miserable than the worst guests you could ever have. I mean, they it seemed like they didn't like what they were doing. And listen, I don't like people, but I love them at the same time. It's
Yes.
like literally a love-hate relationship. And
Yes.
I
It's
don't know, I just
mutual.
found it rewarding.
Mhm. Well, and to think of it this way, like
True. The
like
miserable part.
doing kind of like something as simple as listening or as giving somebody a beer or just smiling and making somebody feel seen or heard.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually take that much effort on your end.
Yeah. Just
You
that
know,
alone.
I mean, literally, you just have to smile and just recognize them as a human being. It's
Yeah.
that easy. And being able to do that and just putting that little tidbit of effort, even if you're having a crappy day, bartenders aren't allowed to have crappy days, right? But even if you're having a crappy
Yeah.
day, sometimes just faking that smile for the first 10 minutes,
And then you're
you
good.
you get into your
Yeah.
groove, and then you make somebody else's day that much better, and you're like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm good, guys.
You
I'm good."
forget about what was even wrong. That was what
Yeah.
I loved about it.
Or you hear somebody else telling a sad, terrible, horrible story, and you're like, "You know what? My day wasn't that bad."
It's like, okay, we're taking Rumplements. Let's go. Like, it's a rough day. They
I
lost.
got you, baby. Pistols on me. Cop
Yeah.
tab all the way.
I've heard crazy stuff.
Oh my
Crazy.
god. Okay, what's the craziest?
Uh, mm, I probably shouldn't say that. A woman said, oh, I'll never forget in Vegas. There was a woman that came in respectfully, like really large woman, really large, wearing
Mhm.
a rainbow dress, which do you? Okay, I'm all about it. And started shouting that Jesus was on their way down, like saying some like crazy religious stuff, but they were like either off their meds or something. And then they ended up taking all the drinks and like throwing it around, and then just got so angry to the point where like we called the cops, obviously, and it come to find
Damn.
out they were on meth. And that was my first experience of that drug.
What?
But they were like I was by myself, so I was so scared that I
Oh
don't
my
know. That
god.
was the
That's gotta be
craziest probably
freaky, man. Especially when you're riding solo. Like,
in
I
Vegas.
mean, I'm assuming you had bouncers and stuff, but
Let
like,
them in. Like
oh my god.
I don't know what Ryan was doing, but like
This
they
is your
let her in.
public
Oh,
service announcement.
and
Kids, don't do
it
drugs.
it ended up being a dude in a dress. Like when I first saw them, I thought it was a woman, but it ended up being like straight up dude, cross dressing, do your thing. Okay, do your thing. It's Vegas. I don't care. But I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna punch me because they did that with the drinks. I was like, what's different between me and that cup? You know?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, what is the difference? And it's at that point, you either have to, like, establish some form of dominance and be like, "You're gonna sit your ass down right now, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what the f up, and then we're gonna have a drink, okay, buddy?" Or you're like, "Bouncers, bouncers."
Yeah, I didn't even want to make eye contact with them because their pupils were just like you looked at them and they
Mm.
thought you were a part of their paranoid delusions. It's a very specific type of look. Never again.
Damn.
Just don't want to make eye contact with them, and they were just screaming bloody murder. I hope they're
Wow.
okay because that's one hell. But hopefully they got
That's a
clean.
lot.
Yeah, I think
That's a
about
lot.
them often. They scared the out of me, but I hope they're okay. Excuse my language. What
But
about you?
really, I mean, I feel like my worst case I mean, I've had to, like, fly they called me spider monkey after a point because I would fly over the bar,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
when you have to, like, chase somebody down for a card or to give them their card back or to give them their ID, especially when I was at the airport,
Yeah. Oh,
because 'cause
yeah.
they're gonna fly away,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
my
I was
my
told.
like, the manager got really irritated at having to mail IDs and stuff, like,
Oh, yeah.
after a while, so
I've
I'd,
done
like,
it on my
spider
own time. I didn't know
Huh?
I could ask the I used to do it on my own time. They would text me because I used to have a lot of their numbers just in case, and, like,
Mhm.
they would be like, "Hey, I left my card there." It's like, "Yeah, you didn't close out your tab either, king." And he's just like, "Just add whatever you want." And I'm like, "Your tab
Thank you,
is
I
this."
will.
And then he's like, there was multiple occasions. They're like, "Can you ship this to where I'm gonna be?" And I'm just like, "Is this illegal?" I didn't even know it was. It felt illegal at the time.
It's
Not
gonna
gonna lie.
cost you $50
20. It
'cause
was 20.
you and your 20, man.
Oh, no, no. Asking them $100 for my troubles.
Oh,
I can't even do
okay.
that my own self. Like
Seriously.
this is
Yeah.
before Apple Pay. Now it's like, yeah,
Oh, makes sense. That
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, because it's like Venmo, but my card.
I couldn't use
Um,
that number. Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah.
Cash App, Apple Pay, whatever. Send me something because
Yeah.
I'm not coming out of pocket to send you your stupid card that you need because you're gonna be going out of town.
I just
Uh-uh.
hope somebody would do it for me. That's all I had going in my
Well,
head, you
and
know?
that's how I always thought of it, especially when I spider monkey styled, like, because we had a long bar, and in order to get from behind the bar and out into the airport, you had to go this very long, long, long way around. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Especially when there's terminals nearby and you're like somebody has their license and you're looking up and you're like, "I'm watching them go into the terminal, like, into
No.
the" I'm like, "No." I've
Oh,
actually, like, I had to have that one of the ladies, what are they called? The flight attendants at the door. I've had to have one of them escort me on because I was like, "Look, listen, this dude straight up just walked on here. I need to give him his stuff." Like, I was like
yeah.
on a plane, on an airplane while
George
they were all
Ryan
sitting down. I'm like,
Johnson.
yeah, like John Smith, I know you're in here. I just watched you come in here. Where are you?
Sign
And
your tab.
yeah,
Like, turns around.
but the amount of thank yous that you get for
Yeah.
that because it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I would have just had to have canceled the card or their driver's license.
Oh, no, I always made sure. I would always take the ID and the card, and so
Mhm.
it was very rare that they would forget both, but I would always hop over to the bar and just find them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that wouldn't though, unfortunately. I feel like less
Really?
people would do that. Yeah.
I don't know. I go to what you said earlier, like, I would want somebody to do that for me,
Yeah.
and it's not like I'm your local bar,
Yeah, it's
right? I'm
the
at the
airport,
airport.
the
You're
other
either
side.
flying in or flying out, and whatever it is, you need that, especially your
Yeah.
ID if you're flying, because you used your ID to get
Yeah.
into the airport, so when you're gonna be flying home,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a harder time trying to get back.
I don't think
So
I would take their IDs there. I would just take the loss if they ended
I
up walking
I feel
away.
like there was a reason that they would given them to us for I forget what it was, but they had, like, left it whatever it was, but I remember having an ID in my hand, I'm like, "Oh, this is no bueno."
Yeah.
I went flying.
Yeah. That's
Bling.
so nice of you, just making your way through the airplane. It's fine. Like,
It's kind of
Raging
fun,
Tomato
though.
has no chill.
The raging tomato has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be co-piloting this plane.
Like, oh my god.
Oh my god, we're going down.
Oh no. Our
And by the
pilot
way,
is
there were 5 lemon drops bought for me today, so,
Oh
good
my
luck.
god. They were probably so grateful. I could
Oh,
just
yeah,
imagine.
and that's how, you just there's no kudos to it. There's no, it's just now we can both breathe,
Yeah.
because if I didn't get this to you, I
I
would
would
have
hate
been,
myself.
literally not sleeping tonight
Yeah.
for your safety,
Yeah.
and for your sake. It
Yeah.
would have not felt good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, question to the chat, has everybody, whether you are watching from my
Mhm.
stream or from Torsha's stream, have you all gone and hit the like button? Because so far I see 75 viewing. The numbers have kind of teeter-totter between the 70s and 80s, but I want to make sure that everybody has at least done their free, it is free, their free
Yes.
job. This is your homework, ladies and gentlemen. I am your teacher, and this is your homework. So listen to your teacher. Go hit that little button. It's lit, or hit the dislike button too if you don't like it, or if you think we're a bunch of stupid people. Fine, you can absolutely 110% hit that dislike button. It does just the same for us. No difference. It all actually works out very well, because if enough of you hit the dislike button, it makes us look controversial, and it's going to push that algorithm even harder. So, oh, did I just hit 600 subs?
Woo!
No
Hell
way.
yeah. Here we go.
Thank you. Oh my God. So now we're officially celebrating.
I know. I like want to go get the champagne.
I think you have to do it.
I know. I'm thinking about where I put it. It was in the refrigerator. I don't know who did that, but it'd been in there for a while. I probably would have put it
It's
in
a
the
big
freezer.
bottle. It's kind of big. You're
Yeah.
not going to lose it.
Yeah, I know. It's in a
I know
bag
you know
though. It's in like a paper bag. I was like,
my
what? I don't know how we had
so
this.
funny is when I went to grab my prosecco, because I had gone to the liquor store today, obviously for tonight.
Yeah.
And when I was pulling it out of the paper bag upstairs, I was like, maybe I should leave it in the paper bag and like totally do this doobie style, like
You look
drink out of the
homeless.
paper.
Or the guy from Little Nicky. Wait, what's the movie with Adam
Yes!
Sandler? The get in the flask, Adrian.
Oh my god, the guy with the on his head.
Yeah, I love
That was
that.
the
It's my
best, that
favorite
was the best
movie.
part. I feel like Little Nicky didn't get as much love as it deserved.
I know.
Just saying.
I love that
When his
movie.
face is all sideways and he's talking like this, guys.
Get the flask, Adrian.
Get in the flask, Adrian.
I used to work with a bartender who did it so well. I wish I could.
And
It
the
was
dog.
so funny. Oh my god, I can't believe you know that movie. Nobody ever knows what I'm
Oh
talking
my
about.
god, Adam Sandler. I'm a huge fan of Adam Sandler. I feel like you have to have a like stupid sense of
Yeah.
like you have to have a weird sense of comedy to be able to appreciate
I love that
Adam
movie.
Sandler.
Throw a fat sack of in the mix, thought I'd spice up the batch.
Oh.
I love it. Popeye's chicken. It was Popeye's.
Get in the hole, Bog.
Get in the
You want to
flask,
go home? Get
Adrian.
in the hole.
I'm done.
Then when he comes back to hell and it's the big Chewbacca looking guy and then the guy with the on his head, he's got the broad tassel things going and he's like the Chewbacca looking guy is like sitting there rubbing him.
Yeah.
And then Mickey falls through the pit of hell and he's like, and they're like, mm-mm.
I love that movie. I'm so glad you knew it. 'Cause, like most of the time I mention that movie, nobody knows, and then I just try to quote it, and they're just like, I'm like, never mind.
Never mind, it's okay.
Oh my god, there's so many people.
Oh, you know what though? One thing I always love about Adam Sandler movies is the soundtrack.
Really?
You may not have the broadest appreciation for it. I mean, being a bartender, you might, but you are a
He
little
knows
bit
nothing about me. Keep going.
you are a little bit on the younger side, right? So, but I always feel like the music that Adam Sandler like goes out of his way to make sure his music soundtracks are top notch. Like it's just if you like that kind of music.
I just can't remember what was in there. Like if you named stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he did.
With the devil.
Yeah,
oh my god, classic.
The Wedding Singer. Was he in that one? No,
Oh my god, yeah, with Drew Barrymore.
That
Yeah.
is him? There was a lot of music in there.
That's where I wanna grow old with you. That song came out of. So I wanna grow old.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, something like that. But it was where he shows up on the airplane and he's like in the guitar and the love for him and Drew Barrymore became a thing.
He's a nice guy. I met him once when I was bartending. He's like literally the same.
What?
Yeah, he's really nice. Just like chill. He reminds me of my dad, honestly. Just like,
aww.
Like, hey, how you doing? Like,
hey. Oh my god, what was that movie I just watched with him recently? He was a jeweler, like a diamond salesman or something. Like it was a messed up movie. I never expected him to be in a movie like this.
A new one or an old one?
It was recent. Adam Sandler, the jeweler or something. Jeweler. Play a jeweler. Uncut Gems, was that it?
Uncut Gems. Wait, wasn't that what girl said? Uncut Gems. That went viral. Julia Fox. Is that the name of the movie? No wonder.
Yeah, let me look it up and make sure that's it. Uncut Gems. One successful New York. Oh yeah, this is it. With debts mounting and angry collectors closing in, a fast-talking New York City jeweler risks everything in the hope of staying afloat and alive. I'll say this. What do you call it when you spoiler alert. It's a spoiler alert.
Cut her off. I'm just gonna
cut her off. We're all getting cut off tonight, right? Spoil. I can't even say the word. Spoil. Why is that a weird word to say?
Spoiler. That's how it sounds.
Spoiler alert, honey. It's all.
Spoiler.
I can say it in the Jersey style, but
Ew.
like, oh, honey.
Ew. Oh my god. Honey. Wait, I can't do it.
Honey.
Oh my god.
You gotta watch the Hormax long enough so you can get that voice down, okay, honey?
Ew, never again. $100 for my troubles.